When we first set up, we didn't really know quite what our ambitions were. We just wanted to get on with our work. And the success of one campaign led to us being asked to get involved in other campaigns. An example of that is when we started our work to address the pilot whale hunt in the Faroe Islands. With the success of that, we were asked to get involved in the international bird trade. And in the mid-80s, millions and millions of birds were being exported from places like Senegal, Tanzania, and Argentina, all for being put in cages in countries like the UK. We went into coalition with the RSPCA and the RSPB and managed to stop the airlines from carrying birds for this trade, which meant that the bottom fell out of that market and protected millions of birds. We then started getting involved in protecting elephants, because 2,000 elephants a week at the end of the 1980s were being killed, which would have led to the extinction of that species by the end of the century, which for me, coming from Africa, was something which was just unthinkable. We managed to do some very exciting undercover investigations into the illegal ivory trade and how the poachers, who was paying the poachers, how that ivory was getting out of Africa, and how it was getting into shops such as Bloomingdale's in New York and John Lewis in London. We then led the campaign to get a ban on the international trade in ivory, and in 1989 it was incredibly exciting because we achieved that. What we've done as our trademark is to investigate, often undercover, exactly what's happening on an issue. For example, with the bird trade I've just talked about, we went undercover to look at exactly what was happening, getting the documentation and the first-hand story of why this problem was occurring. And then we use our documentation to build campaigns. Our investigations into the illegal ivory trade took 2 years. We were undercover for 2 years, gathering first-hand information on some of the world's biggest environmental criminals who were driving elephants towards extinction. We came back with remarkable information, which we then built into an entire campaign, and then started lobbying governments and working towards international community deciding that they would ban the ivory trade. And that's the sort of thing that we do. One of the things that we thought was really important was to not only look at the individual wildlife species, but also to look at habitats, because there's no point in saving an elephant if it doesn't have anywhere to live. And this is how we got involved in the illegal logging trade. We could see that vast tracts of tropical rainforest were being destroyed, and our investigations took us into the forest, and we discovered just how much of that destruction was illegal, and that it was out of hand. Governments were unable to control it. So again, working undercover, we got first-hand documentation. We built relationships, particularly in Indonesia, with Indonesian NGOs, who then took us right into the heart of the forest, where we met up with forest people, many of whom had never come out of the forest. This is their home, this is their environment. They were just as important as the logs, the orangutans, and all the amazing species, some of which we would never know about. That was all their homes, and we worked with them to protect their forests. One of EIA's first campaigns was against the pilot whale hunt in the Faroe Islands. I can remember standing in the dock next to a man who struck a hook into a whale, dragged it towards him, and cut through the back of the neck until the animal was dead. For 2 hours we watched 200 whales being killed, and I realised that the most important thing that EIA could do is to get first-hand documentation of the destruction of our planet, whether it's animals or whether it's habitats, because that first-hand information is really what gives the truth about what's going on in this world. The only way to stop whaling and to stop overfishing is education. We need to educate the public about the implications of these activities, but we also need to educate governments as well, and the industries associated with them. With respect to whaling, there is no justification for killing whales, dolphins, or porpoises, and those that are hunting them should be able to those that are hunting whales, dolphins, and porpoises must close these activities down, there is more money to be made out of watching these animals than there is out of hunting them. EIA is an organisation that punches above its weight. We go undercover, get the first-hand story, and we build our campaigns to protect the environment and to protect species such as tigers, elephants and whales. We make a huge difference to the environment.
We start off with the idea and the knowledge that even if you produce recyclable packaging, it doesn't always get recycled. So phase one in the process is to create products that don't need any packaging. And here we really have pushed the envelope. We've invented solid shampoo, solid conditioner, for example, to get rid of the bottle. Everybody knows the situation where you go into a supermarket and things are just so overpackaged. You've got a plastic bag, you've got plastic wrapping, you've got a styrofoam base, you've got separate bits of plastic between each layers. It's just ridiculous. There's more packaging than product. Even if you produce recyclable packaging, it doesn't always get recycled. Only 40% of what can be recycled is, and the other 60% is going to landfill. Where possible, we get rid of the packaging. So we have various products which we call naked, so they're unpackaged. It's interesting when you start talking about marine life, because obviously there is a real danger for any packaging that they're polluting the systems. The fish and the seabirds don't understand what it is and they just eat it and it ends up killing them. Every year we do beach cleanups where some of our green team goes along voluntarily to help, and a section of the beach gets cleaned, and you'd be amazed how much rubbish you pick up. Imagine getting rid of packaging waste, imagine getting rid of landfills. I mean, it would be phenomenal for what it would do to change the world.